Everybody, I just wanted to make a quick video to go over some of the most common errors within the FRQ. Okay, so I'm not going to reread the FRQ itself, but I will refer back to it in some capacity for some of the answers. So the first thing, just overarchingly, you should be writing in normal body paragraphs. If it says A, B, C, D, E, F, please don't put that on your paper. Okay, just respond like a typical essay. Okay. An operational definition of a variable is a strict measurement or guideline of something that is usually pretty abstract. Okay, so in this case, morality is pretty abstract. How do you measure morality? We had done that activity in class, like measuring what is love. So the dependent variable is the effect. Okay, as an experimenter, I'm trying to hold as much constant as humanly possible, except I'm manipulating this one thing, the independent variable, and then I'm seeing the effect of the dependent variable on it. Okay, so in that way, Dr. Lewis is manipulating the different sounds that the babies are being exposed to. So that would be the independent variable. And the dependent variable, therefore, would be the strength of the baby's reaction in decibels to the sound of other babies' cries. Okay, so you want to be really specific with an operational definition. So it should be the loudness of the baby's reactions as measured in decibels. Okay. And that's all you really had to say. You could just say the dependent variable, which is the effect measured of the independent variable, is the reaction of the babies in decibels, the loudness of that. Okay. One possible confounding variable within the study. The temperament of the babies, huge confounding variable. Okay. I also did something within the prompt to kind of implant confounding variables in there. A very common one when we do random assignment in order to eliminate confounding variables among groups. Okay, so there's no random assignment here. Dr. Lewis assigns babies of the first 50 respondents to the experimental group and those of the second 50 respondents to the control group. Maybe the mothers of the first 50 respondents are just more type A individuals, right? They're kind of neurotic and therefore they might have children who have natural temperaments that are going to mirror that, and that is going to skew the results. So whenever we have a study, we want a random sample from the population at large that everyone is going to have an equal opportunity of being part of the study. And then once we have that random sample, we want to randomly assign the participants to either the experimental or the control group. Okay. Just so you know, a confounding variable is not going to be either the dependent variable or the independent variable. It's not going to be like the types of sounds that the babies were exposed to. That is actually just going to be the different kind of conditions within the study, within the independent, that marked the difference in the independent variable. All right, based on the information provided, identify one inappropriate ethical feature of the study. A lot of people wrote no informed consent, that the babies couldn't give their permission to participate. But I had told you in class that I had done my research in babies when I was in college. And when we work with babies, obviously you can't say, do you want to be part of the study? And they go, they don't do that. That's what I had said in class. Instead, you get the parents' permission. Okay, and that is enough informed consent. Some people wrote debriefing, like you couldn't sit down with the babies afterwards to debrief them. Yeah, obviously, because they don't really understand, but you're debriefing the parent, and that's by proxy, and that's sufficient enough ethically. The major problem here really was the fact that you are making babies cry. You're upsetting babies. This is like little Albert right here, right? I mean, I think a couple people did reference the little Albert study. Okay. Again, whenever you could bring up other bits of information, you will be like, take that, College Board. I got this. Okay. So in the last portion, if you had, we're talking about the confounding variables, you should theoretically have mentioned random assignment and the problems inherent in not randomly assigning conditions. Okay. Explain the meaning of Dr. Lewis's results. What can he conclude from the study? Far and away the most confused item. Okay. This is imperative for you to understand. Now that this test is going to be at home and it's going to be more conceptual, I'm pretty much certain that this is going to be one of the items on the FRQ. Okay, it's going to deal with statistical significance. So the last line of the FRQ's prompt says, after statistically analyzing the results of the two groups, Dr. Lewis finds the difference between the groups to have a p-value of less than 0.05. Okay, what that means, that p, when you see that letter p, it means the probability that these results occur to chance and chance alone is less than 5%. And that is the value that we establish statistical significance in psychology. I can be reasonably certain that my results were not likely due to chance, that I didn't just get these based on coincidence, happenstance, randomness. So I can be reasonably certain that my hypothesis is supported, that babies are going to react more strongly to other babies' cries and therefore have a more highly developed sense of morality than originally posed by, say, Kohlberg. Okay. If you said that his results were statistically significant and you stopped there, that's not enough information. You have to explain what statistical significance is. And it just means that it is very unlikely that he got these results due to chance and chance alone. Okay. So relate the following terms to Dr. Lewis's study: mirror neurons and basilar membrane. Mirror neurons are going to fire as if you are doing that action. Okay. Please do not use the word mirror in the definition. That is what is called a circular definition, and it will not count. So when the babies hear the other babies crying, there are mirror neurons in their prefrontal cortex that are going to be firing and going to almost make it seem like they feel like they are crying. The example I had given in class was like, if you see someone crying in the hallway, you don't run up and go, yeah! That's not what is going to go on there. Okay. And then basilar membrane. The basilar membrane is where the magic happens. Okay. It's where the magic happens in terms of the conduction of vibrations into neural messages, the secret language of the brain. So the basilar membrane, remember, if I unraveled the cochlea, okay, which is the major instrument organ of hearing, I would see all the hairs, the cilia waving on the floor, and those cilia, the frequency and where they actually fire on the basilar membrane are going to have implications for high and low pitches, and it's going to enable us to actually hear the world. So the basilar membrane is instrumental in transduction, in being able to hear what is going on. So the baby's basilar membranes are going to be firing when they hear the cries, as well as the other sounds. Okay, and then how would Dr. Lewis's results contradict these developmental concepts, egocentrism and pre-conventional morality? A lot of people wrote about these things and did not note how it would contradict. It's asking, how did the results go against what we've previously known about egocentrism and pre-conventional morality? What the results are describing here is that egocentrism, which is your inability to understand that other people have points of view rather than your own, is being refuted here. Okay, we think that egocentrism is like, a pre-operational feature that, explains why children are so, are unable to lie and, unable to understand other people's points of view at a young age. In reality, if a 12-month-old is crying because other children are crying, it shows that they understand that people have feelings outside of themselves. Okay. And likewise, pre-conventional morality is of the same vein. Pre-conventional morality says that you make decisions based on avoiding pain, or gaining pleasure, or getting some sort of quid pro quo. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And if a 12-month-old is crying in response to other babies crying, again, this suggests that they are more morally developed than we would indicate for pre-conventional terms. Okay. So for the most part, really good job on the FRQ. Just a side note, If you are looking up these answers on the internet, please do not just cut and paste them and put them in your FRQ. If you do that on the actual AP exam, the College Board will negate your scores. Okay, it's plagiarism. You have to showcase your knowledge. You're not just going to cut and paste, right? I mean, that's cheating. So I implore you that if you are looking something up because you don't really understand it, sit back for a second, put it in your own words, and think about it. Okay, you have some time here. As always, I'm proud of you. Hang in there and just hang tough. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.